Welcome everyone to another edition of Play It Through, and on this edition it's Rocky, brought to us by Sega. Considering it is the 40th anniversary of Rocky, I figure it's well far past time to go ahead and check out one of the only Rocky games I remember coming out prior to the release of the Rocky PS2 title, and that is Rocky on the Master System. The game features only 3 opponents for Rocky to face: Ivan Drago, Clubber Lang, and Apollo Creed, and it only represents technically Rocky 1, 3, and 4, since Apollo, the first fight, has him in his red, white, and blue star-spangled shorts instead of the red ones he wore in Rocky 2. Now, this is a game you need a turbo button for. I've never been able to complete it without having a turbo button, and the reason for that is these training sequences. These are essential in order to be able to compete against each opponent. You can see on here you have a qualifying number of 60, so you need to hit the bag 60 times in order to qualify, but if you're able to get 75, you over-qualify, giving you a boost to your strength or speed. This changes between each fight, but all of them are needed, so you need to over-qualify on every training session. The only way I'm really able to do that is with a turbo button. I was able to do it before on this training game without it, but honestly, with how long you have to mash the button and how quickly you have to do it, just get the turbo controller. I can easily win the fights without it, but I need it for the training sessions. Even with that said though, a lot of the fights come down to a bit of button mashing. Once we run out of time, we jump into the fight against Apollo. Apollo Creed is the easiest of the fights we're going to be doing here in Rocky, and we're going to move Rocky over to the left side and start attacking Apollo a little bit to knock him back. And attacking your opponent, after 3 punches, a 4th punch is going to be a haymaker, whether it be an uppercut or a blow to the body, a hook. This is what's needed in order to knock down your opponent and cause significant damage. For Apollo here, I usually like to get him up against the ropes and just usually start mashing the attack button. His slower speed allows us to land in enough hits in order to keep making contact, eventually hitting him with one of those special punches and knocking him to the ground. There isn't a ton of strategy here other than you want to definitely mash a little bit of the button, though you don't need that turbo for this, in order to make sure he's unable to kind of get consistent punches against you. You do have the ability to duck using the other button, but honestly, it really isn't all that helpful. You can't hold it down to keep ducking, so you have to keep pressing it in order to consistently duck. Found much greater success of just going in and starting to wail on Apollo. When you're able to knock him down 3 times in one round, it's a TKO, or if he doesn't reach the 10 count, of course, when he is knocked down, or sometimes they actually do reach 10, but they somehow still get up, you can knock out each opponent as well as TKO them, which usually I end up TKOing my opponents. After Apollo is defeated, we go to the second training session, which is a speed bag, where you have to have a certain number of punches per second. So you really have to mash, and you have to mash so quickly that it's near impossible to get the overqualification without it. It requires 7 punches per second, so just use that turbo button, hold it down, and you're going to save yourself a lot of headache. Without this though, I've been unable to defeat Clubber Lang. This wasn't the first Rocky game ever released. There was one prior on the ColecoVision, which is a little bit complicated to play, as I have messed with it in the past, as well as there was a Rocky pinball title. This of course came out before Rocky 5, so that's why we don't have any representation of Tommy Gunn in the game, and nothing really was lost in that regard. Now, to fight against Clubber Lang, this is the hardest fight, in my opinion, in the game, because of his speed. He is really fast. With the boost in power that we have, we're able to do a little bit of damage to him. One thing you do not want to do is back away too far so that you end up on the far ropes. If you're on the ropes, Clubber Lang will destroy you. If you're on those ropes, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get knocked down and defeated in that way. However, if you're delivering punches, or if he's hitting a significant amount of punches quickly to you, just take a quick step back. In the first round, I just focus on the punches to drain as much health as possible. If I'm able to knock him down, great, but I'm not going for a knockdown usually in my first round against Clubber Lang here. I usually wait until the second round to throw in a bit more strategy. He's also the only fighter in the game who usually lasts more than a round against me. In the second round, I changed things up a little bit. Now that I have him weakened a bit, I can start adding the strategy of trying to hit those big haymaker style of punches. To do so, I usually back away a little bit, just a step or so, then punch the air, because it still counts as part of the combo. So I'm able to punch a couple of times in the air, and when it comes time for that haymaker, he's usually right in my line of punch, and I just wail him with it. Sometimes it takes a couple of them to knock him down, but this is the strategy I have found best to consistently be able to beat him. But remember, don't get too close to the far ropes. Make sure that if you're getting close, you're able to knock him away a little bit in order to keep him at bay and be able to stay on your feet. One more time needed. I just need to hit a couple of more of these big punches, and Clubber Lang goes down, and we're moving on to the third and final fight of the game against Drago. For the third and final of the training sessions, you have Mickey holding gloves, and you have to punch where the glove is using the directional button. You can still hold down the turbo button. It works just as fine because you just hold it down and just move your finger around the D-pad in order to pick what direction you want to be looking at in order to deliver the punches. You have to get 80 to overqualify, but usually using that turbo and just kind of maneuvering around a bit, I actually get over 80, in fact even can max it out at 99. What's weird is the fact you have Mickey being the trainer here. Of course, he died in Rocky 3 right after Rocky's defeat to Clubber Lang, and then, of course, leading into the second bout, which is the one I guess we technically just recreated by knocking out Clubber Lang in the second round. However, here it should be Duke, Apollo's trainer, because this would probably be after, of course, Drago has already killed Apollo in their exhibition. So it should be actually Duke holding the gloves here, but I guess they didn't want to go for that exact accuracy when it came to the game. Now, the key to the Drago fight is watching out for his punches because he is more powerful than any of the other fighters. This is what makes him dangerous. But because he's slower, it makes it easier in my eyes. Our best friend is body punches. Delivering a couple of body punches and then knocking him away, and then rinse and repeat. In fact, you can even get up close to him and keep repeating those body punches because of the increased power and speed that we've earned by doing the training sessions over the course of the game. We can keep wailing in on his body and just destroy him, knocking him down to the ground in just a few moments. The hardest part is getting close enough, though, to get back into that whole pattern. In fact, I get really lucky and knock him down a second time with just another one of those quick haymakers to the gut. I was shocked he actually went down that quickly that time, but now I only have to deliver that final knockdown in order to defeat him. If Drago is knocking you back a little bit, just kind of back away before kind of getting right back into it and going for that gut. The gut punches seem to work best against Drago, and you can just keep on wailing on him, and when you're not able to knock him down 3 times, it's TKO, and you can sit back and enjoy the ending to Rocky. So there you have it, the end with Rocky and Adrian embracing. Kind of a weird ending, and just an interesting game overall. I'm a huge fan of the Rocky series. It's probably one of my top 5 favorite film franchises. I love the movies. I've seen them all a lot. Maybe not Rocky 5 as many times as the others, but still, absolutely love the Rocky movies, and it's far time I went ahead and did a playthrough of this game. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up this episode of Play It Through. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a thumbs up or commenting down below. If you enjoyed this playthrough, be sure to check out the one I recently did for Kid Mickey 3, a Famicom only game that's pretty cool. Or if you want something a little bit different, I recently counted down the 10 worst NES sports titles. I also need to thank all the members of my Patreon. Without your guys' continued support, I wouldn't be able to keep doing what I'm doing, so thank you all so much. I also need to thank you for watching this video, and of course I hope you enjoyed.